Welcome to the video series, The Freethinker's Guide to the Bible. When reading the Bible or listening to a priest, pastor, or rabbi, have you heard or read contradictions, peculiarities, or repetitions that caused you to pause and attempt to reconcile them? You may have told yourself, "I'm sure there is a reasonable explanation for this," or "I will look into that later." More than likely you never got around to answering those difficult questions, or decided to trust those with more experience than yourself. We will use critical thinking to answer these questions. This will give us a greater understanding of the foundational writings of the Jewish and Christian religions. Each analysis will build upon the previous, and in the end, will likely give us the answers we seek. To reach the greatest depths of Bible stories and events, one must investigate them without bias and be open to new ideas. Those who have not chained their minds are freethinkers. Merriam-Webster gives this definition: a person who thinks freely or independently, one who forms opinions on the basis of reason, independent of authority especially, one who rejects or is skeptical of religious dogma. In this series, I will present you with thought-provoking puzzles and challenge you to solve them. I will present a great deal of information to you. You will likely have questions about the accounts we study. To help you stay focused, I suggest that you have pen and paper handy so you can pause the video and jot down the specific areas you would like to investigate or have clarified. I want you to study out every matter I present to you, but I don't want you to be sidetracked and miss any critical information that I put forth. Some accounts in the studies will be reviewed 2 or 3 times to glean all of the layers of information we need to reach our conclusions. I present the information in the series as a way of strengthening your belief in the Creator. I have too often seen people completely lose their belief when they are shown that the foundations of their belief are not solid. My desire is that everyone who participates in the series does not lose their belief in the Creator, but builds a solid foundation by the end of the experience with the new material I present to you. I would rather that you did not participate in the study if it would lead to your losing your belief in the Almighty. A few words regarding religion. Religion has the potential for both good and bad. As an example, the nation of Israel would likely not exist if the religious observances, specifically the seventh-day Sabbath and holy days of Judaism, had not given the Jewish people a common bond, as they lived amongst the nations. On the negative side, these same observances distinguished the people from the populations they lived with, and were subjected to pogroms and persecution throughout history for these differences. I follow the moral code of conduct put forth in the Old and New Testaments, known by most as the 10 Commandments. I have seen numerous times where people have made the sound, spelling, or pronunciation of the Creator's name a stumbling block, and kept many from achieving a higher level of understanding. Making the Creator's name an issue causes unnecessary friction and hinders communication by creating emotionally charged interactions, rather than positive, productive, thoughtful discussion. For these reasons, I don't judge anyone for their use of the Creator's name or titles, as long as they are demonstrating reverence. A few words on the JDEP theory. I have studied the proponent and opponent sides of this theory and found that many wonderful exercises in critical thinking can be garnered from the studies carried out by each side. This study series is not based on the JDEP theory, though I do utilize many similar thought processes that are used by both sides to reveal the details that need to be analyzed. It is important that I convey to you my basic statements of belief. I believe in an almighty Creator who is seen in the amazing diversity of creation: humans, animals and plants, mountains and plains, oceans and continents, deserts and rain forests, day and night, summer and winter, the perfect balance of all things on our planet and the universe, confirmed by the formal and natural sciences. Empires and civilizations have crumbled to dust through the centuries. How many have risen from the ashes to once again become a nation and also had their language resurrected? There is one nation on the earth today that has achieved this, the tiny nation of Israel. Conquered by the Assyrians, Babylonians, Seleucid, and Roman empires, taken into captivity, dispersed throughout the world, and persecuted in many places. In more recent times, Israel has been at war against overwhelming odds on multiple occasions and not only survived, but overcame their adversaries. In 1948, the fledgling nation of Israel successfully fought off attacks by the combined Arab forces of Egypt, Transjordan, Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, the Arab Liberation Army, Palestinian militia groups, and Saudi Arabia, who wanted to obliterate it. Israel defeated the combined armies, gained territory, and the war ended with armistice agreements between Israel, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, and Syria. In 1967, Egypt had built up a sizable military presence in the Sinai Peninsula. Israeli intelligence foresaw an attack, and they launched a defensive strike on Egypt's air forces. During the Six-Day War, Israel was attacked by the combined forces of Egypt, Jordan, and Syria. The combined Arab forces also had assistance in manpower and weaponry from Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Algeria. During this war, Israel fought off the attackers, successfully counter-attacked all three, gaining East Jerusalem and the West Bank from Jordan, the Sinai Peninsula and Gaza Strip from Egypt, and the Golan Heights from Jordan. In 1973, on the holiday of Yom Kippur, Israel was surprise attacked by an Arab coalition led by Egypt and Syria with support from the Soviet Union, Algeria, East Germany, North Korea, Pakistan, Libya, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Morocco, Tunisia, and Sudan. Israel amazingly stopped the Syrian advance. They also performed a successful counterattack reaching close to the Syrian capital Damascus. Israel also stopped the Egyptian forces in the Sinai Peninsula and performed a successful counterattack across the Suez Canal, reaching close to Cairo. I leave it to you to read about the bravery and the truly miraculous occurrences that led to these wars being won against overwhelming odds. Suffice it to say, Israel exists as a nation today when it should be like the many nations that perished long ago, just pages in history books. Is this just coincidence? Or is it the hand of the Creator bringing biblical prophecies and promises to pass?